All right, let's dive right into this explainer. Today, we're figuring out how to completely transform those generic AI drafts into incredibly helpful website content. If you're building a site, especially in a technical niche like web hosting, you already know the drill. Just having a domain and a layout, it's not enough. You need content that explains, guides, and builds trust. But writing all of that from scratch to be totally overwhelming. So, naturally, we turn to AI. But here's the massive roadblock we almost all hit. Is your AI-generated content sounding, well, a little robotic, untrustworthy, or maybe exactly like every single other page on the internet? You definitely know the type of content I mean. It's perfectly spelled, it's grammatically flawless, and yet it says absolutely nothing of value. It leaves your visitor just as confused as they were before they even clicked on your page. Just look at the stark contrast between these two approaches. On one hand, you've got this vague, buzzword-heavy intro. Web hosting is an important topic in the modern online world. I mean, talk about a time waster, right? But on the other hand, we have an intro that immediately zeroes in on a beginner's actual problem, acknowledging that hosting feels confusing because every provider uses different words. This right here, this is the difference between a bounce and a conversion. So we're going to map out exactly how to fix this with a 5-step workflow. We'll cover the AI content trap, using AI as your assistant, plotting your content, drafting and refining, and finally, adding the human touch. Starting things off with step 1, the AI content trap, and how to avoid that generic text. Okay, this right here, this is the ultimate weak prompt. If you're just asking your AI to write an article about web hosting, you are literally guaranteeing yourself low-value content. It lacks your website's unique voice, it completely ignores who the audience is, and it offers zero specific solutions. The AI is just going to scrape together the most common generic explanations found everywhere else online. Basically, if your prompt is broad, your content will be useless. Which brings us to part 2, AI as your assistant. This requires a major mindset shift. Instead of treating AI like an automatic content cannon, you need to be the boss and treat it like your intern. Contrast that weak prompt we just saw with this brilliantly constructed instruction. Look at the detail. It clearly defines the beginner audience, specifies the exact topic, like cPanel, and explicitly demands practical examples. This is exactly how you start getting tailored, high-value output that actually helps your readers. Moving on to step 3, planning your content. This is where we build a rock-solid foundation. Effective planning really just boils down to 3 highly focused steps. Define your goal, define the reader's specific problem, and build a useful outline. Skip this, and trust me, your AI is going to wander totally off topic. Let's actually build out your toolkit right now. Here is the exact prompt you can feed your AI to nail down that core goal and target audience. You're asking it to help define the main goal and what the reader should understand by the end. This forces the AI to establish a crystal clear objective, like, say, making sure beginners understand what SSL is and why HTTPS actually matters, before a single word of the article is even written. Next up, use the response to basically force the AI to identify the specific fears and technical roadblocks your reader is facing. You ask it to list their problems, fears, and questions and suggest how to answer them practically. For a hosting project, your reader is probably terrified of breaking their site or buying the wrong plan. Identifying these fears right out of the gate gives you the absolute perfect angles for your headings and FAQs. And finally, to wrap up the planning phase, this is how you ask the AI for a structured, beginner-friendly outline. You're commanding it to move logically. Start with the problem, explain the concept, give practical steps, call out common mistakes, and finish with a checklist. It creates a smooth journey for your reader, guiding them from basic understanding straight through to taking action. All right, step 4, drafting and refining. It's time to actually generate that copy. Now, here is the absolute golden rule, okay? Do not ask for the whole page at once. If you do, the AI just loses focus and goes right back to that generic fluff we hate. Instead, draft section by section. Ask it for just the intro, review it, tweak it, then ask for the next part. And while you're at it, optimize your headings for scanning, because we all know visitors love to skim, and generate targeted FAQs for any lingering doubts. Take a look at this comparison. We've got typical generic AI fluff on one side saying SSL makes your website secure. I mean, sure, that's true, but what does that actually mean to a beginner? On the other side, we get concrete, practical context. SSL changes your website from HTTP to HTTPS. Visitors see a safer connection. It tells the user exactly what changes on their screen and why it matters. Now that is practical content. To get that exact kind of transformation, you just use this prompt to command your assistant to drop the vague marketing speak. You literally tell the AI to rewrite the section so it's practical for beginners, add a simple example, and kill the fluff. Honestly, it is amazing how quickly AI cleans up its own mess when you explicitly tell it to stop using hype. You can also leverage specific prompts to generate those short, high-value quick answer boxes, plus SEO-friendly meta descriptions that don't sound like pure clickbait. A quick answer box explaining a concept in just 2 or 3 sentences is incredibly valuable for a beginner who just wants the gist. And having the AI draft clear, accurate meta titles, it just makes your life so much easier when it's time to hit publish. Which brings us to our final step, Section 5, this human touch. This is where we add original context. This human touch, it is absolutely what separates a site that ranks and converts from one that just gets penalized for being low-value scam. But here's a pro tip. Before you even start your own manual edits, make the AI audit itself. Use this prompt to ask the AI to flag its own empty phrases, other ones in today's digital world, or unlock the power of, and have it point out repetitive structures. It's a fantastic self-correction tool. Once the AI has cleaned up its own text, you've got to step in and inject your actual experience to make it valuable. Look, the AI can't take a screenshot of your specific cPanel dashboard, right? It doesn't know the real-world mistakes you see customers making every single day. You have to add their Zim manually, drop in original diagrams, your actual workflow steps, and link out to your other guides. That original context is what makes the content truly yours. So before you go ahead and hit publish, run through this ultimate checklist. We want to ensure this text sounds like a knowledgeable human guiding the beginner, not a robot. Does it solve a real problem? Are the explanations actually simple? Has it been thoroughly edited by a human? Ultimately, does this page feel genuinely useful? If you check all these boxes, you got yourself a win page. So as you build out your next hosting project, or really any educational site, I want to leave you with this question to fundamentally rethink how you create content moving forward. Are you going to let AI act as a cheap replacement that just churns out generic fluff? Or are you ready to step up, take charge, and guide it as your highly capable assistant? Your choice dictates the quality of your entire website. Take control of those prompts, plan your content out, and always add that human touch.